Monaco is sort of the focal point of the Grand Prix season, and it's probably why a lot of companies are in motor racing. It's money, money, money.
The atmosphere at Monaco is something you get nowhere else in the world. They work very hard in getting the street circuit up together, and you get everybody that's anybody come to Monaco because it's like a central meeting point. And I think that on race day here is just an incredible atmosphere. You can actually cut it. I mean, it's just fantastic.
There's nothing else quite like it anywhere else in the world. It's a magnet for big money. The place is full of million-dollar yachts and million-dollar people, and it has a charisma all of its own. Monaco is unique as a street circuit. Amongst the racing teams, it's perhaps the only street circuit that's accepted as a proper racing circuit. From a racing point of view, it's probably one of the driver's toughest challenges. There are more gear changes here than any other circuit in the world. And mechanically, the transmissions take a bashing, the engines take a bashing, the tires take a hammering. It really is a tough place to race. It's very, very important to qualify well because it's very hard to overtake, if not impossible. And so it's unique in every sense of the word. There's no other place like it.
I enjoy Monaco. I mean, it's my sort of circuit. I like tight, twisty circuits. But of course, with a turbo engine, which is obviously what we have, it becomes very difficult because you have lag problems, and it's a very, very hard machine to drive. Yesterday was very fraught. We had numerous. We had to go through pre-qualifying in the first hour, to which we had a turbo and one car brake, and then a suspension on another car, and then we called Bruno in, and I drove his car and qualified with his. Collapse, and we're rubbing on the ground. I got very bad-tempered, really, and because there was a lot of problems jumping from one car to the other, so tempers were very fraught, and I was shouting, and there was a lot of people sort of moving away from me. I mean, it's really sod's law, really, because I wasn't really blaming the mechanics or blaming any one person. I was just winding myself up to do a quick time. And when you go out there and you hang everything on the line, and the car keeps failing not once, twice, three, about 10 times yesterday, tempers will get frayed, you know. And with motor racing, it's luck of the draw, and we had a bad draw yesterday.
We still believe that we're going to be in the frame. Derek, in fact, is proving that point. And what we really need is for Bruno to maybe drink a little more Italian red wine and just give us a little bit more kick in the pants.
We had a ball joint on the front of the suspension was machined the wrong way, and under braking from one of the hairpins, the ball joints popped out and the steering jammed. Well, we got the car back here, having to do 3-point turns all the way around the circuit, got it back, and by this time I hadn't pre-qualified. And halfway around the lap, well, we didn't know it at the time, but afterwards it worked out that a piece of exhaust had broken and jammed the wastegate open.
Well, Monaco is a wonderful venue for a Formula One race. I read in the paper the other day, they said that if they were going to have Formula One races starting now, then they wouldn't be able to use Monaco. The cars have to work. There's over 2,000 gear changes in the race. It's a race of attrition, the man on the car. We set our task, we set our stall out, if you like. We said we'd do in 3 years. We'd be somewhere in the pack. When I say in the pack, I mean in the front half of the pack. And I'm hoping that over the next few races, we're going to be in the points, and I think in the first three. As far as the mechanics and the whole team, they're so loyal. They will work 48 hours, doesn't matter. They just keep on going. They want to see the car succeed. So we have it's a team. There's not one person. Everybody is important.
Street circuits are quite a bit of aggravation, really, because you're not based with your transporter near the pit area. It means early starts in the morning. It's a different world, Monaco. It's good. It's a big team thing, Monaco. All the teams seem to drink in the same place and eat in the same place, and it's quite good. The motor, compared with, I mean, the first year we started doing Formula 1, we had problems with the motors. It was obviously development. The second year, it was getting better, and this year, again, with the new chassis and the motors as they are now, we're producing quite a lot of horsepower, and the reliability is quite good. We have problems with the turbochargers breaking up, but sort of we have downers on those and uppers, and at the moment, we think that's sort of a reasonably good set on there.
I suppose that being in Formula 1 is a bit like being in show business. In fact, our world tends to attract a lot of rock and rollers and other stars. But there are kind of people, and director and mechanic alike go out of their way to make them welcome.
You've got to hand it to Bruno. Well, personal one. I want to get one with Rick on it, you see. It's not my name.
It's not a world, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great.
Rick, I think we ought to go and let them get on with it.
Yes.
We've got races to win.
Thanks for your time. So, good luck tomorrow.
Girls to catch.
Well, should we go and get...
We're going to get a drink.
Oh, what?
Have a drink.
Well, not drunk, just a drink.
Best of luck, then.
Oh. Cheers.
Easy when you're number one. Everybody say you're having fun. Smiling for the public eye. When your body say you wanna die. Living on an island. Looking at another life. Waiting for my friend to come. And we'll get high. Here we got a real nice place. Cruxy gonna be there soon. And I just wanna see his face. I'm getting lonely in my empty room. Living on an island. Working on another life. Waiting for my friend to come. And we'll get high. Passing time away in blue skies. Thinking of the smile in her eyes. Easy, it's easy. Living on an island. Oh boy, we're having fun. Living on an island. Thinking about the things I've done. Living on an island. Searching for another life. Waiting for my friend to come. And we'll get high. Waiting for my friend to come. And we'll get I said we're gonna get yeah, we're gonna get
All I hope is that we don't have another day like yesterday, because after pre-qualifying and all the shit we had with the cars, it can only get better on Saturday, that's for sure.
I hope it doesn't rain, because otherwise it's going to be a big problem.
Well, if it rains, obviously
Yeah,
you're not going to qualify. I prefer these kind of circuits as a driver, but the problem is, of course, is with the turbo. I mean, straight away, you've got disadvantages with the lag and everything. I mean, do you like these circuits or
Oh,
not?
I like the circuit. But, I mean,
as you said, with the turbo it will be much more difficult.
Yeah.
This is not, it's not the kind of track for a turbo engine.
The car is good on the smooth parts of the circuit, like the swimming pool. The worst places are places like Raskas, the first gear corner, you know, where you go over the bump. The car is just jumping over the thing and then just breaking traction. But over the smooth parts of the circuit, it's
tires
really
are good too, yes?
Amazing, yeah, it's very good. The new qualifiers are fantastic.
Good.
I think we're going to look good in the race on Sunday, that's for sure.
Really, look at the weather.
Bruno, I mean, I didn't really know him until this season. I mean, he's a very funny guy. I mean, he's good fun to be with. I don't really sort of socialise with him very often because he's in Italy and I'm in England. So I only really get to know him at races. And we get on very well. Fine.
Bruno Giacomelli is just getting together with the team. He's used to, as you know, driving the Alphas. Our car is totally different. It will take a little bit of time, I think, before he gets used to it.
There's rivalry between any drivers, whether it's in their own team or whether it's in other teams. It doesn't really matter. I think, I mean, the last thing I want is for Bruno Giacomelli to be quicker than me. And I'm sure it's, well, I mean, I know it's the other way around as well. And that's a competitive spirit, you know, you need that in a team, otherwise you didn't ought to be in Formula One. I have a very, very personal relationship with everybody within our team, whether it be mechanics, engineers, sponsors, directors, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's something I work very hard at, and it's something that I think I'm very successful with. I mean, it's not for me to say, but I mean, I enjoy. I mean, that's really why I'm still racing for Toleman's. I mean, we've had a very fraught time in the 2 or 3 years leading up to this, and I've stayed with them not because the team has been successful, because they haven't, but because I enjoy my motor racing. As far as mechanics are concerned, I think it's something I work very hard in striking a relationship. When there's hard times, I sort of help sort of build their confidence up, and vice versa. I mean, you can actually see the mechanics sometimes when I'm down, they'll actually come to me and they'll be pumping away trying to build my confidence up again. And I don't think there's any other team in Formula One that's got that relationship. I think we can qualify in the top 6 here. I mean, at the moment we're 10th, and if I can grab a point here, I mean, I will be a very happy man. There'll be a lot of celebrations on Sunday evening. Well, this morning we ran with my race car again, and we had a turbo problem, but we done a fair bit of suspension work and gradually got the car better. We were going about 2 seconds better than yesterday on the same tyres, or rather Thursday. Then we had a turbo failure, so we went out into the spare car and gradually worked at it. And then right at the end of the session, they repaired my race car and went out and ended up 5th quickest. And I also got badly balked on the lap as well. So, you know, we sort of expected good things for this afternoon, and now it rains. It doesn't look like it's going to dry. So it rather seems like we're just going to be sat here until 2 o'clock. And the unfortunate part about that, of course, is Bruno's 21st, which is first reserve. So he's not going to get in.
I broke my engine in my race car this morning, and I was going to use the spare car, but it's raining now, so there's no chance to get in the first 20. So I will not race tomorrow. Well, I feel like a driver who did about 60 races, and this is the first time that I'm out. So it's, I mean, you can imagine how I feel. Not very well, actually.
However talented the drivers are, and we've got very talented drivers, they can only be as good as their equipment. And the equipment would be better if it had more money behind it. We're up against the big factory teams, Ferrari, Renault, BMW, who have mega budgets, and we have a relatively small by comparison budget. We're still talking around $5 million, but that really is small in Formula One terms. And the amount of testing, development, research that we can do is totally dependent on the finance that's available.
There's an awful lot of PR that goes into to motor racing. I liken it to sort of an advertising agency. You know, every team is an agency, and we're going around to all the sponsors pitching and saying, look, we can actually do a better deal for you than the next team. Ideally, we would like to have enough success in order to retain our sponsors for the following year, on a 3-year contract, for instance, which a lot of the big teams do. So therefore, they only have to worry about finding sponsors every sort of 3 to 5 years. At the moment, we've been looking every year, and it's very, very difficult. In order to find the kind of money that you need to go Formula One Grand Prix racing, there are very few companies or individuals that can afford anything like $6 million out of a promotional budget. There are some companies, like the cigarette companies, who can do it, because $6 million to $10 million out of their turnover or profits is nothing. We have had to look at various ways of pulling our money together.
I think our team is unique. We came into Formula One from the lower echelons of the sport. Our chief designer started with us in the days of Formula Ford, and so the team has grown up very much as a family. There are very close ties between most of the key people in it. And Derek's been with us a long time now. He was with us in 1980 when he was runner-up in the European Formula 2 Championship. He's now such a fundamental part of the team, it's hard to think of the team without Derek as its leader.
Down and off camber, and then it's...
Derek, quite honestly, is Britain's sort of, I wouldn't say next James Hunt, but I really believe that Derek could go all the way and win Grand Prix.
If the track stayed like it is now and then slowly improved, slowly dried out, and we elected to run on slicks, it would be a good decision. But if it got wetter, we'd have to stop for wets. If it gets any wetter, we'll have to start on wets. And I guess everybody in the pit road's got the same problem. It's not a clear-cut decision.
It's a hell of a problem right now, and unfortunately, it's down to the driver. He has to make the decision whether he's going to go out on slicks or wets. And as you can see, we have no wheels on the car at all at the moment. It's that critical.
Unfortunately, we've had a long standing problem with the Pirelli wets, but everybody keeps telling me that they've made big improvements. I spoke to Salazar earlier on, and he said that the Pirelli wets now are as good as Michelin or Goodyear when he was driving on them. So maybe we can have a good race. It's been 2 years or a year since I've last driven on Pirelli wet, so I really don't know. Well, the tyres, the decision there is whether we set one car up for the rain and one car up for the dry. And, well, we opted for a dry car because...
With the wet cars, it does dry out. There's just no way that you're going to get any kind of grip. An Irish friend of mine came up to me yesterday and said that he had a £10 on me to finish in the first 3, and I said to him, what odds did he get? And he said 5 to 1, which I find incredible because I would have offered him 10 to 1.
It's like Russian roulette, and we're playing it with about 5 bullets in the chamber. The chances of making a right decision today are thousands to 1.
Set the car up, and Sullivan was in the front, and he was holding us up, and Sure was right behind him. Then going into the corner, I started to go by him, and then he hesitated and come over and just touched my front wheel. It was my fault, I think.
Derek had a bit more time. When I say a bit more time, if he hadn't had so much pressure from behind, he could probably have picked a better moment to go for it. At this track, if you don't take the chances when they're there, you never get past.
I think we proved the point. We're as good as anybody. But motor racing is motor racing. You know, you have these accidents. Derek had to have a go to get past Schurer. Schurer took him off. And that's the end. But people will take it seriously, that's for sure.
Yeah, we'll come back next year. We'll come back a bit better prepared. We've learned a lot this year, and next year we'll win.
I don't believe that race track success necessarily is that important. I think it's what you do with your promotional ideas, what you do with your, your whole program, really. And I think the results is just sort of icing on the cake, so to speak.
Thank you.